gang violence and other kind of violence.
Get away! I could be at work, at school, in my car, and I can still get shot by the police, but I can get shot anywhere.
So it is what it is.
What's good, Shadow Realm? It's the Black Gen Z Mindset. Make sure you go ahead and like, comment, share, subscribe, and let's get into the video.
An innocent man's been killed trying to stop a fight, domestic violence between a man and a woman in Warrensburg. The woman was wounded.
The shooting involved an airman stationed at Whiteman Air Force Base who authorities say took his own life. Fox 4's Kirsten Stokes is in Warrensburg with more from the victim's family and neighbors.
According to the Warrensburg Police Department, the incident began as a domestic disturbance call between a man and a woman in an apartment complex on Cedar Drive. When officers arrived, they reported finding a suspect armed with a weapon running southbound toward Hale Lake Road. Police later discovered that one person had been shot and killed before their arrival. That person was identified as Tony Barron, a bystander who tried to intervene in the domestic disturbance.
Wow. So, you got a guy who tries to intervene in a domestic disturbance, loses his life, fighting for the protection of a woman, and unfortunately, his life was taken. Definitely a crazy situation, and I believe he was in the military, so obviously he's going to spring into action. But, it's just sad that you have a guy who's trying to protect somebody ending up losing their life.
The woman involved in the domestic disturbance was also shot. Police said she was taken to the hospital with non-life-threatening injuries and has since been released. Barron's sister, Amber Franklin, told Fox 4 via Facebook Messenger that her brother loved fishing with his family and always prioritized being a father. A neighbor named Marie, who declined to share her last name, described Barron as a stand-up person. She said he was the type of person who would go to bat for other people, especially those who couldn't do it for themselves.
He was the friendliest, most approachable person. Always spoke, always had a smile on his face.
Marie added that Barron was proud of recently graduating from a jail recovery court program and had hoped to inspire other veterans struggling with addiction. Another neighbor of Barron's, Jaquan Cole, said he also went through the same recovery process as Barron did, and he was excited to see where he would go next.
They're just here to give you a second chance and to keep you out of prison and out of jail and stuff like that. So he's for him to be battling that and then go on to for this battle. I respect it. I take my hat off to him.
During the pursuit, officers said the suspect fired at law enforcement, but police did not return fire. The suspect was later found dead after police say he took his own life. The Warrensburg School District said multiple schools were on lockdown.
Wow, so the suspect went ahead and took out the trash. He won't face justice in this world, but it's I guess the taxpayers are quote unquote saving money. Doesn't bring back the lives that he took. So just a tragic situation all around.
Tony's sister, Amber Franklin, said that he was in the military. He served in the Army and went to Iraq. She said that when he came back, he had some PTSD, but of course was able to recover. In fact, he just graduated from jail court recovery yesterday. So this is just a devastating situation for her family as they remember the life of Tony Barron. Reporting in Warrensburg, Missouri, I'm Kirsten Stokes, Fox 4, working for you.
5 out of Warrensburg, Missouri, where 2 people are dead after a shooting this morning. Warrensburg police say a man fired a gun multiple times in the area of Cedar Drive and Mitchell Street. A Good Samaritan was shot and killed. The suspect allegedly fired toward officers before taking his own life. KCTV5's Morgan Rydell joins us now live from the town, roughly an hour southeast of Kansas City. Morgan, what are you hearing from neighbors?
They're completely in shock. One of their neighbors here lost his life while trying to intervene in a domestic dispute. His name is Tony Barron. Police say if he hadn't acted, it probably would have caused more harm. And another neighbor told me that she was hiding the victim of that domestic dispute in her home while this all happened.
Dang.
Scary, honestly. It's a little close to home.
Raylan Patty returned home from an overnight shift at 7 a.m. She heard shouting and stopped for a moment to understand what was happening. That's when she saw someone dragging a woman.
As soon as she got released, I realized that he had a firearm. We ran into the house, took cover.
She called 911. As she was on the phone, Patty and the victim hid inside her home alongside Patty's children. Then they heard about a dozen shots ring from outside.
Shocking. It's not something that you'd usually come home to. It's usually a really quiet neighborhood.
Can't be happening again here in Warrensburg.
That shooting happened just outside Daquan Cole's home.
And my niece and nephew, they woke me up saying, "Hey, Uncle Daddy, look, there goes the dead body."
Police say that.
Dang, I mean, and obviously the neighborhood is definitely shocked, taken aback from a deadly shooting like this. Wow, it's very sad.
The suspect shot and killed Barron, who was just trying to help. The suspect then took off, still armed, even firing at responding officers.
I've seen a lot of stuff, go down in my life, and it's kind of shocking for it to be here in Warrensburg.
Barron was a neighbor Cole and his father both knew. It was hard to learn what happened for everyone.
It just sucks. It sucks because now he's gone. And yeah, that was a good guy.
You kind of just act and do your good diligence and, call 911 and step in even when you're not needed.
Local schools and businesses, they were on lockdown for almost 2 hours while all of this played out. Whiteman Air Force Base did say that an airman was involved in this incident. Police say they cannot release the identity of the suspect due to military regulations. Reporting live, Morgan Rydell, KCTV5 News.
What's good, Shadow Realm? It's your boy Jenquavius Jackson, and y'all already know I'm demonetized and shadow banned in this bitch. So if you want to contribute, go to the Cash App, the PayPal, the GoFundMe, or join the Patreon. Also, don't forget to visit the merch store for all your favorite BGZM News 17 gear, including our exclusive Trump is a Blood t-shirt. Go fast before they sell out. They are already flying off the shelves, no cap. And remember, these super gremlins are on demon time.
We are learning more about the man who was gunned down as he tried to help a woman being attacked. This happened in Warrensburg on Wednesday, and KMBC9's Krista Tatchell shows us how 39-year-old Tony Barron was a hero in many ways. Krista?
Tony Barron was known to be not just a helper to his neighbors here in Warrensburg, but to his nation.
He's a good guy. I hate to see that happen.
39-year-old Iraq War veteran Tony Barron died Wednesday after trying to help a woman who was being attacked in a domestic dispute. He was shot and killed. Friends remember him today by telling stories. He was a father of two, served proudly with the 101st Airborne Division, the Screaming Eagles. Though he struggled with PTSD and addiction, just 3 days ago, he completed the Johnson County, Missouri Recovery Court. He was clean and sober for 14 months, ready for a new start, bolstered by the words he read each day in his King James Bible and would post online. Lord, make me to know mine end and the measure of my days. Friends say he was cherished and they are crushed.
When I seen it, I couldn't believe it was him. And it hurts. It really hurt. It had me crying.
Krista Tatchell, KMBC 9 News.
Barron will be buried with an infinity coin, a token used by recovery groups for a person who has remained clean and sober at the time of their death.
Begin in Warrensburg after one person was shot and killed, all trying to save a neighbor in need.
Police say it started as a domestic disturbance call between an off-duty airman stationed at Whiteman Air Force Base and a woman. Tony Barron, a neighbor who saw the incident, tried to intervene.
Was just trying to help and got killed. It breaks my heart.
Nearby schools and businesses placed on lockdown as officers searched for the gunman who they later found after he shot and killed himself.
KSHB 41 News reporter Megan Abundis has been covering domestic violence in depth the past few weeks. She told you how domestic violence, homicides, and calls for help in Kansas City have increased. This story in Warrensburg is no different.
Across Johnson and Henry County, Missouri, there is one domestic violence shelter serving more than 80,000 people. I'm Megan Abundis. Survival House in Warrensburg says domestic violence, hotline calls, and shelter nights have skyrocketed.
It is deemed as, a safe college community, but we know that there's no area that is safe from domestic violence.
Yeah, and we do see domestic violence rates obviously have increased, especially when we were under lockdown, and I don't think those numbers have really gone down ever since then. So just the environment for couples trying to make things work long term, it just seems like it's at a very it's at a friction point.
So White knows there is shock in the community.
It's so sad, so sad. He was just trying to help and got killed. It breaks my heart.
But for Elisa, there's no time to be shocked. She says there's too many people relying on her.
Warrensburg's still a safe little amazing town that we love very dearly, but it doesn't really surprise us now.
Elisa's Survival House helps with therapy, court advocacy, 24/7 help, and a shelter. Last year, the therapist had 82 clients.
That is an extreme load for a therapist.
That's not the only increase. The number of women and children who need help this year rose by more than 100 people. There were 500 more hotline calls and 600 more shelter nights on the books. The most important increase?
Cases that we are concerned for the victims' lives.
She sees that stress is causing the uptick.
As a whole, things are kind of in a crisis mode, just in general for people.
She wants people to know they are here to help. In Warrensburg, Megan Abundis, KSHB 41 News.
Megan, thank you. And Survival House did tell Megan they too struggle with local and federal funding losses. They're actually short about $30,000 this year alone. She also learned they're attempting to buy a larger shelter house.
October, by the way, was Domestic Violence Awareness Month, and throughout the month, Megan shared a series of stories focused on Kansas City's domestic violence court.
She especially highlighted the voices of survivors, along with advocates, as well as people working to reduce violence and past offenders who have taken steps to try to learn from their mistakes.
So tonight at 6:30, we're sharing all of those stories in a half-hour special. You can watch that right here on KSHB 41.
Gang violence and other kind of violence. So it is what it is.